This episode of Test Drive is brought to you by Fast Car Bids, Canada's premier car auction website. Ready, set, sold.
Here on Test Drive, I've featured a number of Dodge Durangos over the years. We started with more of the entry-level GT with the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6. We went up to the SRT and saw how that drove, and now we're kind of in the middle ground here, the sweet spot of what I would consider to be the Dodge Durango. This is the 2021 Dodge Durango RT all-wheel drive. Now this is a newer look, it's a mild facelift for 2021, and this is supposed to be the final year of production for this generation before we move on to the next generation. The front end is new with design cues from the latest Charger widebody, including a new front fascia, LED headlights, a new LED daytime running light system, a new sculpted hood scoop, grille, rear spoiler, and a new set of rim options depending on which trim and options you ultimately go with. This Durango base MSRP $62,270 Canadian, that's about $48,000 US. As configured, as tested, $79,000 and change here in Canada, and about $63,000 US. We have quite a lot of options on here, pretty much all the important stuff that you would want out of a Dodge Durango if you were buying this as a muscle car SUV. Now the big changes aren't with the engine, transmission, all that's pretty much the same, and as I mentioned, the front end is different. You'll be able to tell it's a 2021 with the headlights. Those are very unique with the daytime running lights, kind of running on the top and the bottom. Dodge says that that's their new signature look for their vehicles. Out back, it's pretty much the same, and I have to say that the taillights are just a little dated. It dates the vehicle a little bit, but aside from that though, the look is pretty consistent with what we've seen. It's the inside though that things get very interesting. It's a pretty much completely updated dashboard system. Dodge says that it feels larger than the previous 2020 models and older, and I would agree with that. I always found that the door cards were just a little too thick, giving you less interior feel when you got into the driver or front passenger seat. So that has been improved dramatically. Their new HVAC controls, very nice, modern feel compared to what we saw before. And this is using the new 10.1-inch Uconnect 5 infotainment system, which is absolutely fantastic. We tested it a little while ago with the Chrysler Pacifica. Speeds on this, Chrysler says up to 5 times faster than the previous generation. And it's actually an Android-based infotainment system, which is great. That's kind of the future of technology. Leave the actual operating system to people that know what they're doing and focus on the user interface and how it functions with the vehicle. So this is a good approach and it makes quite a difference. Unfortunately, we still have a pretty poo backup camera on this. If you go with different trims, you can have like a 360 camera, but the straight up backup camera on this is not high quality. It's not high resolution. That would have been nice to see on this. But Mopar says the infotainment system is angled 7 degrees towards the driver, giving it a more driver-centric feel as you're driving and controlling the vehicle. A couple of things to note on the inside, we have the forged carbon fiber interior trim. I think it looks really cool. It's something I haven't seen before on a production vehicle. So I do like the trim on this, and really it's very well equipped. We got the green paint, the black and gray interior leather. We have the full media suite in the back, very similar to what we saw with the Chrysler Uconnect Theater on the Pacifica. We have the dual infotainment screens with a Bluray drive that you can have at the front. The controls are a little different though. I find it wasn't as easy to get the Bluray going as I did in the Pacifica, but the option is still there if you have kids and they want to be able to watch something in the back. But for the most part, it is the Dodge Durango that we've come to like over the past couple of years, with slightly better interior and a small update for the exterior. Before we hit the road with the 2021 Dodge Durango, I want to mention our friends at fastcarbids.com. This is an exclusive Canadian website to buy and sell unique and interesting cars. There are a lot of car auction websites out there, but they're primarily based in the US, meaning for us here in Canada, we got to import them, deal with the border, and all sorts of logistical nightmares that just make it hard to find the car that you want. Enter fastcarbids.com. They're based in Canada, and you can only buy or sell if you're in Canada, which is great for us. If you're looking for a unique car, something different, a daily driver, a project, or just something that you haven't seen before, fastcarbids.com probably has it. You can check it out with their straightforward auction system. Whether you're buying or selling, the process is very simple. Create an account today and get in on the action. Fast Car Bids makes the online auction straightforward and hassle-free. Head over to fastcarbids.com to find your next Canadian car.
Yeah, I know this isn't the SRT, but I think it's still important to do a performance test. There's no launch control on this, but we are in track mode. That's nice. So let's see. Oh! 7.2. That's not great. I think this is supposed to do like, I want to say like 5-ish, maybe less, like 4, high 4s. So yeah, I mean, that's not great, but we're also on crappy roads. They're not really ideal to be doing a performance test with. And the idea is, if you're buying the RT, you're not necessarily doing any track stuff. I think it's fun that they have the button there, but the idea is, you know, you want to have that extra oomph. You want to have the V8. You don't necessarily care about fuel economy because it hasn't been that great. You'll see the numbers here below. We averaged quite a bit higher than I was kind of hoping, and you'll see the comparison both to the SRT and to the V6. But again, you're not buying this because you want to be doing any any eco driving with this. The idea is to have fun, and I have to say, considering that this is just the regular 5.7 liter Hemi V8, this is not the SRT, and there is no performance upgrade in terms of the exhaust, this thing sounds really good. That's really good for just a regular V8 engine. So if you're looking to have fun, be able to save some, you know, I mean, like, the vehicle's well equipped, but you're not going for the SRT or the Hellcat, you're still getting quite a bit of vehicle for the price, and you can still have fun with it. So I do like the sound. That was the second thing I noticed when I got into this. First thing I noticed was the interior space here is much better, but listen, wrong gear. Oh yeah, it sounds good. Now you can put it into manual shift mode and use the little flappy paddles if you want to. And yeah, you know, it sounds good. I like it. I like it quite a bit. So good thing that this has a decent exhaust on it. I'm quite happy with it. Again, if you're buying this as the, you know, middle trim kind of thing, you're gonna be more than happy. But as I was saying before my big rip there, the idea was more space on the inside here. That was my one complaint about the Durango. It was one of the things I also didn't like about the previous generation Ford Explorer. It's just the interior space was poorly designed. The door cards were really thick, giving you less leg space. I mean, like, the leg space is fine, leg room is okay, but like your actual like width of it, I found it wasn't great. This is much better. I'm very comfortable here. I'm a big guy. I find that the gear shifter, I can't quite put it into manual shift mode. My leg is there, so that's one small note there. And again, the incandescent bulbs on the inside, that would have been a nice thing to see switch over to LED, but I guess we're gonna have to wait for the next generation Durango. But overall, I've been pretty happy with this, considering I've driven a number of them already, and this one isn't the Hellcat. This isn't necessarily anything special. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. The updates here are great. Would have been nice to see it a couple years earlier. This really is the last year of production for this generation. It's, yeah, almost feels a bit of a waste to put this nice interior here for it to only be replaced, but I imagine that Mopar will be using the same controls, same 10.1-inch Uconnect 5 system on the next generation. So we'll see. This is like kind of a weird transition phase, because we should see completely new Durango next year, meaning that this is kind of like a stepping stone. We're going to see some of the pieces from this specific trim, this specific build in the next generation, but for the most part should be different. So there's some good stuff going on with it. I like it. I like the look of it. I like this green color, same color that we had on the Jeep Trackhawk last year. And I did spot somebody here in town way before filming this morning, but earlier in the day I was driving and I saw a 2019-2020 Durango in the same color, and the people in the car were going ballistic that there was another one on the road. So you have a little fam as you're driving around in one of these. But you know, if you're looking for a mid-size 3-row SUV, it's rear-wheel drive, comes all-wheel drive here in Canada, but you've got the options in the States to have either rear or all. It works out well. good updates here. I still have some small complaints about it, but for the most part, you're getting something unique in this segment. It's the sporty alternative. The engine is great. Transmission is a little, it gets a little lost, as you saw, but that's to be expected with any 8-speed automatic transmission. There's not much to fault about it. I'm very much looking forward to the next generation. Like, if you were looking for Durango, you didn't want to wait a year, you like this style, you like the look of this, then absolutely this model year is a huge improvement over the 2020-2019. I like it a lot. There's some stuff to consider about it. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds when it comes to the Durango. But if you buy it today, you're still gonna be pretty happy, especially with that exhaust. I'm just loving it. I wish I could do more rips with it, but it just doesn't seem to be my day today. Today's not going the way I wanted it to. We got slow people everywhere. We're in town. Can't do a lot of rips, but still pretty happy with this. Good job, Dodge. This is the facelift that you want to see on a vehicle that is already widely popular, to make it just a little bit more popular. Big bang as it finishes off its production.